This morning I found myself remembering and realizing that I've got a lot of questions in this time period that we're in. But one question that I don't want to miss is, what does it mean for me to make sure that I have a healthy spirit as I journey through this time? There's one question that has plagued me, and that is, what's really the differentiators with leaders in difficult times? If there's one thing that I admire about people, no matter what their dimension of diversity might be, their background, their race or religion, it's how do they deal with change? Change is challenging. And change is challenging, yet it's an opportunity that gives us the ability to become someone we never thought we could be. 9 years ago, there was a New York Times best-selling book called Switch. And it provided those who read the book with principles that certainly applied during times when you're developing processes for change. Even the subtitle during this time is intriguing. How to change things when change is hard. But we're now in a moment when not only is change hard, but in light of COVID-19, change is difficult. Because change now has happened to us without our initiation or our invitation. COVID-19 has created a moment where we all are having to change. We're now finding ourselves where things are changing all around us, even whether or not we decide to change or not. Things are changing. We all now doing things like going through drive-thrus where we normally would sit inside of the restaurant. Our regular moments of engaging with people socially in places, coffee shops, restaurants are now not open. We're all having to reprogram our rituals that bring us comfort. And there is even quiet now in places where there was normally a symphony of noise, quiet that we haven't planned on. It is that common reality that we all now having to face, because change is not an option, but change is an opportunity, I think, for a couple of things. First of all, it's an opportunity to grow. John Maxwell said it this way. He says that change is inevitable, but growth is optional. Even with the difficult reality that we're in, that really change creates growth, because even our muscles grow from repeatedly lifting weights that's really been designed to weigh us down. We have a chance to lift, to engage this moment of change, to grow. Abraham Maslow said it this way: in any given moment, we have two options. We can step forward into growth, or we can step back into safety. It's even true, scientists have found that in new and unfamiliar situations, that change, being uncomfortable, really triggers a unique part of the brain that releases dopamine. That's that chemical that makes us happy. Isn't that mind-blowing? That there's actually a unique region in the brain that is activated when we experience the difficulty of change. Change is challenging, but it's an opportunity that causes us to become someone we never thought we could be. But there's a second opportunity with change, not only to grow, but change is an opportunity to understand yourself. William Arthur Ward gives this framework of how people function when it comes to change. And it's sort of a picture. He says this, he says, the pessimist complains about the wind. The optimist expects it to change, but the realist adjusts the sails to deal with the storm. We all have to embrace that things have changed. That really is the first step in seeing ourselves, is that we embrace that this is something that no one has ever been through. Isn't it amazing? There's never been a system, or there's never been a time when all of our systems are challenged, when we're experiencing something that affects the whole world. And so this is another opportunity when we see ourselves, is we've got to create clarity. The clarity that we create for ourselves is really clarity for the next moment that could change without us even realizing it. I also think the thing that makes it difficult is we can see when we look at ourselves that change creates grief, loss. That's why our grief must be met by grace for ourselves and grace for others, because that's our opportunity to grow. You know, every story of change is really uncomfortable. New England Patriots would be uncomfortable without Tom Brady. Even when you go back to the stories of the Bible, when Noah again created an ark for 100 years for rain that he hadn't seen, change. Children of Israel were in the wilderness for 40 years, and at times wanted to go back to Egypt because change is hard. And even our hero, Jesus, he went through a cross, through pain, for change that would change the world. Dennis Waitley has some wisdom for us. You must welcome change as the rule, but it doesn't have to be your ruler. Yes, the pessimist complains about the wind. The optimist expects it to change, but the realist adjusts the sails for the storm. Let's adjust our sails together for the journey of change that we're on. Because change is challenging. It's an opportunity for us to become someone that we never thought we could be.